Hi, I'm Christine Chang. I'm here at the, where is it? Oh, there's a tree in the way. Hi, I'm Christine Chang. I'm here today at the happiest place on earth, doing, what do the kids call it these days? A vlog. I'm just gonna go back here to film this because I'm not used to filming in public like this. I have a fear that I'm gonna end up on that website or it's that Instagram account called Influencers in the Wild. I was supposed to meet someone here today to do a video on relationships. However, her schedule changed. I still had my ticket and my reservation, and so I decided to come by myself. And this is something that I do from time to time. I come to Disneyland by myself, and I really enjoy it. My mom brought us here growing up, my sister and I, and so I have a nostalgia for it. I love being outside. It's a beautiful day. It's like 90 degrees today. I get to walk around and I get to do what I want to do without considering other people. I don't have to wait for anyone to go to the bathroom. They want to go on a ride that I don't want to go on. There's a lot of freedom in going by yourself, and I enjoy my own company. So today I thought I would talk about self-identity and how do you know who you are? I got this question recently on Instagram. But how do you know who you are? And I will talk about it throughout today. But right now, I'm going to go walk through Fantasyland and see if there is a churro cart near here. It is pretty busy here. So the Grad Nights have started. If you guys don't know Grad Nights, it's the high schools in the area. They will come to Disneyland. I think it's from like 9 p.m., like through the night, through like 4 a.m. or something. I know this because I chaperoned once when I was in college. So I was not much older than the students. And what's funny is once we got into the park, I totally didn't do my duties. I went straight to Pirates of the Caribbean. And the supervisor got mad at me and my friend April because we weren't doing our duty, which was like we were supposed to sit at a table and check some students. Okay, normally I come here later at night because that's usually when the kids have meltdowns and it's time for them to go home. It's around noon right now. It's really, really crowded. So I'm going to get out of Fantasyland. I'm going to go. The one ride I do want to ride today, if I can, is Rise of the Resistance, the new Star Wars ride. Otherwise, I don't care too much to go on any of the rides these days. I just enjoy walking around and people watching. And if it's organic that I pop on a ride and the line isn't too long, I'll do it. I found one. These remind me of my childhood. And the trick to getting a good one is you have to go to a cart where there's some people in line. So if you go up to a cart where there's no one in line, you know the churros have been sitting there for a while and they won't be as fresh. And you want them to be crispy.
Cause of the resistance. Believe this, I will be the cause of their destruction.
I'm getting in line for Rise of Resistance. I spoke too soon. 90 degrees is hot.
If anyone's packing a blaster, now's a good time.
God, that ride, whether you are a Star Wars fan or not, is so well done. I imagine if you are a Star Wars fan, like my husband, it's like your childhood dreams come true. Two things I always notice when I come here: the fantastic landscaping, and also I always think about how did they get permitting for certain things. If you've ever built a house or remodeled a house, if you know what a headache it is. I'm sure Disney, I think they have like their own city hall or something. Rules don't apply to them. I'm on the Mark Twain riverboat. I used to make fun of the old people who would ride this when I was a kid. And now, you know what? I really enjoy it. It's leisurely. These women, they know what's up.
At this time.
Man, why would you come to a theme park to have to do physical activity? I mean, like, besides walking, obviously, but this is like a workout. Oh my god, look at the duckies! Do you like living here? The water dirty as fuck?
This is home to the three-masted wheel gym.
I mean, how relaxing is this? Come on.
There's a bit of history.
It's too loud here. Okay, I think I found a semi-quiet corner. I want to talk about self-identity because someone asked me, how do you find out who you are? And I think there are a few ways to find out who you are. I think I have a very strong self-identity. It is because I have spent a lot of time alone. It also comes with life experience. So I think in general, as you get older, you learn more of what's important to you and what is not. And of course, people change over time as well. So we're forever changing. But I think in general, as you get older, you tend to get closer to who you are or think you are. It's a very interesting concept, self-identity, because we give ourselves our self-identity. Like, how do you label yourself? Some people find it in their job. Some people find it in being a sister or a mom. If you read people's Instagram bios, you will see how they identify themselves. And all those things are labels, right? I'm not gonna go too deep into like spirituality, existential stuff. I'm just gonna give you tips on learning your values, what you like, what you don't like, what's important to you, what you want your life to look like. First, I wanna make it clear that having a strong self-identity can be helpful, but having too strong of a self-identity can also work against you. My husband and I, we met each other, I mean, it depends on who you ask, but I would say later than a lot of other people met their spouses. He was already into his 40s. So sometimes when you have a really strong self-identity, you become a little more rigid and it's harder for you to compromise with others. And I felt this when we got together, my husband and I, because I had such a strong self-identity. I was traveling the world. I knew what was important to me. I was single for so long that I could do what I wanted whenever I wanted. And so I wasn't used to considering another person. And I remember when we moved to Venice Beach, because he lived in Venice Beach, I wanted to give it a try because he said, you know, like, can we live over here? I had a gut feeling like this isn't somewhere I would choose to live. But to be fair, I said, okay. And I remember through that process that I remember I was crying one day. Granted, we were into the pandemic by now, okay? We're in the pandemic by now. And everything was heightened. And I remember just saying, I don't feel like me living here. I would never choose this place. I think that if I was younger, it would have been easier in a sense. But I communicated with them and then we figured things out and we moved to Marina del Rey, which we both love. If you want to learn more about what you like and don't like, the best thing you can do is start doing things. Start going out on dates. You learn more with every single date you go on, every single relationship you have. I think about when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do career-wise. I was living in New York. I moved to New York for just over a year after college. And I tried many different things because after college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I'm in this big city and I worked at a modeling agency. I waited tables. I worked at a fashion photo studio. And with all these experiences, I learned what do I like and what do I not like. I thought I would enjoy working at a model and talent agency, and there's aspects of it I liked, and there was aspects of it I did not like. Basically, how I figured out what I wanted to do is I did a bunch of things, and what I learned I did not like guided me to what I do like and what I wanted to do. And what I eventually did was I became a celebrity and destination wedding photographer for 15 years. It had a lot of elements that I enjoyed doing, and I enjoyed my time doing that very much. So the don'ts really help you figure out what is important to you. Because if you're not sure, like, what is important to me? What do I like? What triggers you, or what like disgusts you? Like, those visceral reactions will tell you what is important to you. Another thing that is helpful in finding who you are is spending time alone. Now, some people might be parents and it might be difficult to have alone time. But maybe when your kid's napping, is there any sliver of the day where you can have some alone time, where you can sit with yourself? And this can be really uncomfortable for a lot of people, but this is when you are not influenced by other factors. Because if you're a person who tends to go with the flow and always considers others, like, oh, what do you want to do? I'll do whatever you want to do. You're sensitive to others' energy. You won't know who you are. It'll be harder to find who you are. But when you're alone, like today, I'm alone at Disneyland. I'm forced to think, what do I actually want to do right now? Oh, I want to go get a churro. Oh, I want to get an Arnold Palmer. I want to go ride this ride. And that is a great start, because a lot of people have a hard time going somewhere alone in the first place. So it's building the confidence to do that. And I started doing this before I was confident about it, because sometimes I would have to travel alone for wedding gigs and things like that. And I would get questions, especially if I was in a really romantic destination, because a lot of weddings are in tropical destinations like Mexico, the Caribbean, the Cook Islands. So I'd be at this really romantic resort and I would go to breakfast and they would say, like, you're alone? Just when I would get asked that so much, because people are just not used to people being alone. And I thought at first, like, is it that weird? You know, like, it helped a little because I was there for work. But over time, it got less weird for me, that I learned to enjoy alone time. Like, oh my gosh, I get to do whatever I want to do. I meet more people. I would usually like sit at a bar, communal table, and people would come talk to me, and a lot of them were really interested as well. Like, wow, you traveled here alone. And slowly over time, over the years, outside of having to travel for work, I enjoyed my alone time so much, I started booking leisure trips for myself. I would invite friends sometimes, but if no one can go, I would still go myself. Like, I still want to go. I still want to go to Micronesia. I'm going to go to Micronesia. And I have equally as much fun by myself than if I were to travel with friends. It's just different. It's different, right? Basically what I'm saying is, when you have that alone time, you have that space to really think about, what do you want? And build that self-love too. I think it's easy for people who naturally are more lone wolf personalities, which actually it is me, to do that. And so it's better for us to actually learn how to be in groups more. And then for people who always want to be with someone or other people, to learn how to be alone more. I forgot to say another downfall of having a strong self-identity, and I've seen this before, is when people become parents, they don't know who they are anymore, because their life was a certain way, they knew who they were, and all of a sudden this baby comes into their life and who they were has crumbled. And I've heard moms say, who typically are very independent and have a strong self-identity, they'll say, I don't know who I am anymore. It took years for me to get a rhythm, you know, being a mom and having a kid. So if you are struggling to find a self-identity, just remember it takes time. If you're young, it takes time. You will change over the course of, from when you're 20 to 30, you'll change a lot. And then 30 to 40, you'll become a lot more confident in who you are. And it is forever. You will keep changing forever. Just remember to be gentle on yourself. You don't have to put labels on yourself. Just focus on how you feel. You know, how do I feel? And just kind of follow that. Thank you for joining me here today. If there's any other topics you would like me to talk about or any other locations you'd like me to go and film these videos, preferably in the Southern California region for now, to keep it easier for me, let me know. Put it in the comments below. I'm back at my car. I want to comment on Disney's parking situation. Granted, parking is $30 now. It's 2022. It's gone up a lot. But anyways, they're so efficient with their parking. When you come in, the way they have the rows lined up, it makes for an easy exit where these cars can just go out. Hundreds of thousands of cars. It is fantastic. I love efficiency.